10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's just what you've been waiting for, dears. Another episode of the Shy Life podcast coming right up.
Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Boy, he's not all that shy is right.
Blimey, Governor, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Excellent.
542, 542, 542.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm all right. We've got all manner of guests today because this is our, I hesitate to call it our Jubilee Chatterbox, but it's happening during the Jubilee.
Ooh.
Flutter, 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 flutter.
We're cheering you again.
My fans are cheering me. For those not in the UK, you might have to explain that after the theme music. But let's
the rest of the world's got that story, mate.
Up the Crown Sachs Kohlbergs.
Let's run that theme music, dear. Stills is here, and then we will introduce who's here. And
is that a national anthem? I hear.
Probably not.
I'm standing up.
Sit down. Is that your foot long again?
Oh dear, let's run that theme music.
Johnny, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The highlight, the Shy Life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
Hello, Paul.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, Cathers. How are you?
You quite like a big bang, don't you, Paul?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Oh, I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast. I like that.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
But has the Shy Life podcast slowed down? I don't think so.
It's all gooey and meaty. Yum, 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 yum.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
there he is.
It's still today. Hello.
Still today. Sorry I'm late. I hope you know what it's like for me when I get up and realize there's no coffee in the house. And I had to tear out and just go down to the gas station and I bought two tumblers of gas station coffee.
2 gallons of coffee.
Do you not have any case of emergency break glass jar?
Right?
To smash by the door. Oh, we're out of coffee.
Yeah.
I have that when it comes to Bergerac, but that's about it.
What, you put Bergerac in a jar?
No, but I've got an emergency copy
Emergency
of
backup Bergerac.
I don't know what that is. What is that, a beverage?
No, it's a 1980s detective show.
Oh, okay.
We just have 2 copies in the house, and one's still under wraps.
What is your favourite coffee then, Toppy?
Well, really just bold, unflavored black coffee. And it could be anything. I mean, if there's a difference between Colombian and French roast and yada yada, I don't know what it is, but yeah.
You're not a frothy coffee man. You like it strong and black.
Yeah, I really don't care for sweetened coffee. It tastes really weird to me. So
we bought a bag of Colombian, but it seemed to be just full of white powder. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had a bag of Colombian and there was a heavy knock at the door.
We go for Guatemalan, personally, but there we are.
Oh, listeners, we should introduce who's here. Although you've probably heard them all now. We've got Martin Holmes.
Hello.
We've got Warren Cummings.
Hello.
We've got Toppy Smelly.
Hello.
And we've got Toby and not Lisa.
Good evening.
Hello, Lisa.
Lisa is at work. Thus, I am home alone and reclined on the sofa like a Roman.
You mean you have no adult supervision?
There's no adult to accompany.
Oh, no.
There's no adult trousers on.
I hope someone's feeding the cats.
Oh, yeah.
Let me sleep. They've gone off. I'm not interesting enough. So they're looking after you. You've gone away.
Babysat by the cats.
Well, we ought to explain to listeners not in the UK. When I started speaking at the beginning of the episode, Martin booed, and that's what happened. I believe that's what happened. Is that what happened to Boris? From what I hear.
In theory, I've not watched any of it, but in theory, there was a lot of loud booing, which everybody is now reporting was actually cheering, especially Mad Nads. Mad Nads is somebody probably the Americans don't know, but she's our culture secretary.
Oh, God, Mad Nads. Have you seen her rap? Have you seen her recent rap she's done?
Oh, dear God, no.
She's brought in about internet security, but she's for young people.
Oh,
and she's done it as a rap song.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And you know what politicians are like when they do things like that? And it's everything you wished it wasn't.
I really think she should do a culture test. I'd really like to answer.
Probably she's full of cultures, isn't she?
Certainly full of cult. I have to be very careful how that comes across.
Do you, Toppy, with your politicians, other than the gentleman of dubious tanning salon,
yes,
who was recently your president, do you have any particular standout comedy politicians that make you cringe every time they open their mouths?
Now, by that, do you mean comedians who've switched to politics?
Well,
or am I not?
No, politicians who just, whenever they open their mouths, they just fall through a hole in the ground that they wish that swallowed them up.
I see. You know what? It's very different here because we don't really have that, and I think maybe I'm just misremembering because the last 2-3 years have been so heavy with COVID and just terrible things. We've just had about 5,000 million different gun shootings at schools and churches, and things are just so heavy right now. I don't hear a lot of them quipping much, little jokes, and I've seen, I guess what you would call your parliament.
I'm not sure what they call it anymore.
But I've seen how they, it can be a very boisterous, very noisy affair where people are yelling and all kinds of things. And over here, you would think it would be the opposite. You would think in America we'd be the ones yelling and screaming. But no, it's you guys. But no, I can't. It is dry as a bone out there as far as humor goes. I
was like a Muppet Show audience most days. Are you? Do you have any politicians who sort of do appearances on Saturday Night Live or anything like that?
Gosh, it must have happened. For example, but that was before he was president. But I'm almost sure Trump appeared on Saturday Night Live while they were president. I don't think so. But when Obama was in office, he appeared on a lot of different social media shows, and I think he might have been the first to do that. And he certainly, I'm sure Mrs. Obama maybe had an appearance here and there on a sitcom or something where she had a walk-on bit. But nothing much more than that. I don't think.
You're talking about American TV. I've got a couple of shows that I've been watching that Toppy might better help me with, because one of them I'd never heard of until I saw someone tweeting about it, Toppy, do you know about Project UFO?
I know about Project UFO. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's when I was a kid.
Yeah. Is that the one you're talking about, Paul, from the late 70s?
Yeah, late 70s. I have found it all on YouTube. I saw somebody tweeting about the monsters from it, and they look very homegrown.
No, they did not have very good monsters. The funny thing about Project Blue Book, which I think is the full name, Project Blue Book UFO or something like that, they took their style from a very old TV and radio show called Dragnet. And it was a very, I don't know why they did this, but if anybody's seen Dragnet, it was a very, I'm the officer and I'm questioning the suspects.
Just give me the facts, ma'am. Yeah. Just give me the facts.
Yeah. And they took this format and said, well, we're just going to question people about UFOs, but we're going to do it the same way. And it's really weird. It's not it wasn't a really good show, I don't think.
Did it get shown in, because you know about it, Warren, did it get shown?
Yeah, it used to be advertised on the back end of the Looking magazine.
It was sort of early evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
It used to start, this is Azerial, he saw the wheel. And he described it as, and the picture of the wheel, first UFO type thing. Yeah,
it was very cut and dried. They investigate, and I think most of them ended up like, well, we don't really know what happened here, but
yeah, because there was something like there was a colonel, there was a sergeant, and there was a female secretary who worked in the office, and I think that's about all we saw. Yeah.
It says that it's known as Project Blue Book in some countries. And there were 26 episodes, 2 seasons, 1978 to 79.
Yeah, very, very dry, cut and dried stuff. No attempt at acting out a drama, although I think they had recreations, but those were pretty dry too. Really weird. That was a weird show.
The other show I've been watching, which is more detective, is Banachek.
Banachek.
Peppard.
Yes, that was another mystery show that had rotating presence with Columbo and McMillan and Wife, and it was one of the early ones they tried. It didn't last too long.
Apparently, it only didn't last too long because apparently it's one of the few that got more than one season, although obviously that's not the case with Columbo I think McMillan and Wife was part of maybe a later run of that.
I think so.
Apparently the only reason it didn't get a third season is that George Peppard was divorcing his wife and didn't want the money from that contract to be part of the divorce settlement, so he'd rather just say, I don't want to be in that, I don't want to do it anymore than pretty much hand it all over to his wife. So,
wow.
I
love those one-season shows, though. I love them. Things like Vegas, Robert Urich, where the S was signed. But all those shows, they were really big over here, but they'd already been cancelled over there.
I've seen the first 2 Banachek. The first one was about a van with lots of money in, which kind of goes missing on the top of a cliff.
Banachek.
And then there's one about a vanishing baseball player. Well, no, I think he's a football player. I don't think it's baseball. So they have these kind of sort of quite complicated sort of setups.
Over in the UK, we were very much we had a lot of American shows come across sort of mid-70s, didn't we? And it built up towards the 80s.
Yeah, because you were saying, Warren, about Logan's Run, weren't you? But there's also, what was it, Fantastic Voyage as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
that was sort of mid to late 70s. Fantastic, yeah, I always get those. Yeah, Fantastic
That's the one with the chap from Planet of the Apes in, isn't it? Roddy McDowell.
Right. Yeah, he was in that.
And Ike Eisenman, wasn't it?
The other show I've been watching is, it's the Carol Burnett show, but it's specifically on YouTube. It's the As the Stomach Turns, which is like a
It's
a
a series
spoof.
about digestion.
No, it's a spoof on the soap opera As the World Turns.
Yeah.
It's very along the lines of what inspires me. It's very similar to Acorn Antiques. I was quite surprised. Acorn Antiques was sort of doing a spoof soap opera was sort of mid '80s over here, but to see as the Stomach Turns is quite a revelation, because it's like they would do it. She was doing that 10 years before Victoria Wood was doing something.
Yeah. So in the 80s, maybe late 70s, they syndicated a half-hour show of the Carol Burnett show, and it included only the sketches, none of the songs, none of the singing, and it was just a half hour, and they just collected all the skits.
Yeah. I saw one with Lucille Ball in it, which was funny. And then
in the restaurant when they're.
Well, no, this was the As the Word. She probably did. It was probably from the same episode, but like I was quite surprised, because on YouTube it looks like you think every single episode had that particular sketch, but it looks like only for each season they only did that sort of sketch about 4 or 5 episodes out of the season.
Yeah. You could also be watching someone who personally has collected, those particular sketches, and so I mean, someone could do that on YouTube.
Yeah,
I guess
there was one with Cass Elliot playing a model that was from about 1971. That was I see there's one here. Marion's friend Estelle announces she's a werewolf. I must look that one out. It's very Acorn Antiques meets Sutton Park. So that was fun. Actually, I thought we might do some more. Toppy and I and Nick did a few sort of words that are sort of words that are particularly associated with America and words that are particularly associated with the UK. A few episodes back. So let me just see where we left off. Phrases like green thumb is the same as people saying green fingers. Having green fingers means that you're a skilled gardener.
Oh yeah, in America, it's just the thumb.
I'm always intrigued by the word fanny pack, because that always gets a laugh over here. But a fanny pack is, in the States, is it some kind of what we would call a bum bag? Is it something that you have around your waist that's a bag?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's considered very out of style right now.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't be caught dead with a fanny pack today, but I don't know when, mid 80s to mid 90s, everybody had a fanny. We called them fanny packs. Fanny has a different meaning over there, right?
Yes.
It means something very naughty?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Unless but it's also a girl's name. Well, not that commonly anymore, but
by gaslight.
You say Fanny to me, and I think of Fanny Craddock, the early 70s TV cook, who used to make horrible things
and put her hand up a chicken's backside.
We've got flashlight and torch, of course, and fries and chips.
No. Fries and chips, or chips. Chips are I would know crisps, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Of course, we've got Hooters as well, which in the UK means noses, but means something different in America.
Huh? It sure does.
I'm with the American one on that. I've been to those bars.
Did they employ you, Warren?
They did. They said I was very pertinent.
Sniffing bars, very strange.
Well, just so you know, in our current diverse times, there are Hooter bars that now hire men, and they have to, of course, be incredibly buff and built, and they wear very short shorts, and they also wear the top that, I guess it's cropped or whatever you call that, where it just covers the chest and the lower torso. Torso is bare. So,
See, I thought you were going to say that they were very fat and they had the moobs, you know.
I thought that's where that was going.
I think it would be, well,
that's what it's meant.
I think they should hire, and that's what I would look like. Yeah.
We've got making out and snogging.
Yeah. We've got. There's a lot of those terms. Here's my favorite in America for making out. Hey, let's go somewhere and suck face.
I think we've just got an X certificate.
I'm trying to imagine what photo Paul's going to use for the podcast release now.
Probably just be TV.
TV pulling a face.
With the caption, "Do you suck face?"
We've got, what's that? Spirits, pecker, keep your pecker up. And pecker means something else. Pecker means something else in the UK. Not spirits.
Now wait a minute. Spirit is.
Oh, well, people used to go on about being full of spunk, didn't they?
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, a spirited fellow. Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, but keep your pecker up. And pecker means something also naughty-ish. We've got pitcher and jug. PITCHER.
Right. Also, a woman can have jugs.
She's a themed this time. What's a plantar wart? That we call that a verruca, apparently.
A what?
A plantar wart. A verruca, like a thing on your foot, foot.
Yeah, basically, a plantar wart usually appears on a toe, usually the big toe, but it can appear anywhere on the foot, and they call that a plantar. Because I guess you plant your feet down, I guess.
So I think certainly when we were at school, if you had a verruca, you had to wear, if you went swimming with the school, you had to wear a funny sock or plastic sock on your foot because it was supposed to be
a comedy sock.
Well, I don't know. I never had one, so I never had to wear it. But I remember there being quite a lot of issues in the 80s about if you went swimming, if you have a verruca, don't
go near anyone.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What did you call plantar warts?
Verruca.
Like Verruca.
Verruca salt.
No, like Verruca salt.
It sounds like a root vegetable.
Well,
we're back onto peckers.
They have a lot of connections.
What else? Well, there's resume and CV.
What's the thing about hamburgers being basically named after Hamburg and had nothing to do with the meat that's in them?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Because they've never been ham-based, have they? They're not a ham-based product. They never have been.
And I don't know if it's. I mean, you know,
we used to have our beef burgers. We had our beef, and that was it, beef burgers, you know, and they became hamburgers, and there's no difference to them. I seem to remember I went through several years thinking, you're not got any beef ones,
right? Well, the stores around here like to differentiate now. It used to be everything was a hamburger, but now they like to say things like ground sirloin.
Ooh.
You know, because that's
very posh stores. Is that your garage up the road where you get the coffee?
Exactly. That's it.
Ground sirloin. Crikey almighty.
I remember when I went to Portland, and it made me laugh that there was some sort of like blackberry jam, but it was Portland blackberry jam, or it was like a particular little area of Portland type jam. And I just thought you'd never have that over here. You'd never have Swindon blackberry jam or Salisbury or even Wiltshire. You wouldn't.
You've just made me think of the very first time I went to America. I landed in Seattle and got up the next day, and there was all these signs everywhere saying Fat Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, Fat Tuesday. And I was thinking, what the heck is Fat Tuesday? What's that all about? Mardi Gras.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forget. I don't know, like, really what it specifically means, but it's definitely something to do with Mardi Gras. Why that switch? Oh, but I wanted to tell you that here's the legend of the origins of the hamburger. Not ground beef, but the hamburger you eat between two pieces of bread.
Without ruining your appetite.
Supposedly, some diner somewhere in America, I don't remember where, but meatballs were a thing.
Okay.
And they'd cook you up meatballs. And someone somewhere realized, hey, if I take this spatula and smoosh the meatball down, it cooks faster. And I can feed people faster. Thus, the hamburger was born. Supposedly.
You see, I was just thinking it was just someone thought, I fancy a meatball sandwich. Bang. And
yeah,
because
maybe that's what it was.
Up here in North, it has been known that people have the pie butty.
Oh.
I've not heard of a pie butty before.
Pie, but you get your meat and potato pie, you get your bap, your barm cake, whatever. Your what do you call it in your part of the world? The bun, the
roll,
the bun. Yeah.
You get your buttered roll.
You get your buns.
You slam your meat and potato pie inside of it. Pie butty.
This is sounding very dodgy.
Now, another thing I wanted to mention, because I think it was mentioned in a previous edition. I did not know. This is very boring, really. The term spaghetti junction. Now, I always thought the only spaghetti junction that there was the one in Birmingham. Well, apparently, the spaghetti junction being a lot of motorways and things that kind of all wiggle together, and that's why it was called Spaghetti Junction. And I mentioned that I lived quite close to it when I was at university. But I looked online, and actually, that is the original one, but there are lots of Spaghetti Junctions all over the world now. In Australia, Canada, Botswana, Germany, Indonesia, South Africa, lots in the United States, apparently, that are called.
Yeah, I think the most famous ones are in California, LA area. Those crazy roads and bridges that twist and it's just nuts.
MacArthur Maze in Oakland.
Is there a T-shirt with them all on?
I don't know. No, there's a Wikipedia page. Isn't about a T-shirt. They probably get very toddled together if they're all on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
We had a Petticoat Junction, but that was a TV show.
Did I have a train?
I'm just thinking there should be a Linguini Junction, shouldn't there, and all that. Just different.
That's makes more sense. Roads look more like linguini from above than spaghetti.
We'll come back to some American words right at the end of the show. I'm afraid, I think Iti Uncle John and Cromitty may turn up and try and be vaguely Jubilee-ish later on. Now, I did see my friend Callum the other day, and I'm going to share with you now a little conversation we had about the Jubilee, but it didn't really go that well.
Hi listeners, I'm with Callum, and he's very excited about the Jubilee, aren't you, Callum? What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Are you going to be doing anything?
Started.
Are you going to be doing anything special?
Well, nothing that I wouldn't ordinarily do, I don't think.
Not going to any street parties? Not going to any special Jubilee beer festivals?
Well, there is a festival. It is a beer festival. I don't know if there's a Jubilee twist, but they've got some Jubilee beers on here actually.
Yeah,
I've got the Castle Hill, but having Windsor and Eton Brewery nearby means you get a lot of these beers anyway. So, but the Derby's on Saturday, so I'm sure I'll see that even if not live.
is the Queen? Is it going to be a special Jubilee derby?
Well, apparently she's probably not going now. She has to ration her.
Should be too hungover.
Time. Yeah.
Should be hungover after the Thursday and Friday.
And she's mourning Lester Piggott, as we all are.
Yes. Yeah. I thought he was already dead.
Oh, you've got your black armband on.
I thought he was gone already. I haven't heard that name for ages.
A Longfellow. Yeah, well, at least the weather should be a bit better by the weekend. So.
Yeah. And you got washed away, waiting for you to arrive. But
you're looking forward to Cliff Richard.
What's Cliff Richard doing? Singing?
I don't know if he is.
Jubilee singing.
It's Ed Sheeran is the new Cliff Richard.
We all know it's about Harry Styles. He's the Ed Sheeran you don't have to hate. Although he does wear some silly clothes.
Alfie Bow's releasing the national anthem.
It's all about Harry Styles. He's number one this year, Harry Styles. I know a number one song, and it's all right as well.
Well done.
We're Team Harry Styles in our house. Dealey has a Harry Styles t-shirt and everything.
So what are you doing for the Jubilee?
Staying indoors and hiding away. I'm going to be recording a podcast with some of the gang, and this chat will appear in it. And I'm seeing Harry around the same time.
Harry Styles, isn't it?
Not yes, I guess he's going to be a guest on the show. I'm afraid Harry has never had that much style, but never mind. Poor Harry. Anyway, we couldn't get our mixed grill for lunch today, could we? That's not very. Are they saving it for the Jubilee?
This will be the main takeout. You can't have it all.
Can't have it all. Got to have a curry instead. So. No, I don't think I should be going anywhere. I'm hoping to go to Richmond Park next week. I limit myself to one trip a week, and then the following week I'll be going back to Salisbury again. So, I think. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all your ideas for the Jubilee, all of your tricks for shortcuts, little snacks, and ways to celebrate.
Scotch eggs.
Beer that's been coloured a strange colour. I don't know. What colour would you colour a Jubilee beer blue? Or
red, white, and blue, I thought.
Red, white, that would just be horrible. I'm going to watch the Derek Jarman film Jubilee. That's got the word Jubilee in it. It's got Toy Wilcox in it and other people.
There's a Blur song, Jubilee, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite a punky one, that one. Well, time to go. So have a wonderful Jubilee, and make sure you, definitely do that. Definitely for sure. All right. Goodbye for now.
So there you go. Yes, we failed pretty much to discuss the Jubilee, but there you go. Now, we have some other messages coming
Somebody just took a blood pressure cuff off.
Attack of the Velcro.
It's obviously a Jubilee reaction.
Actually,
no, my blood pressure's still fine. I can carry on talking about things about.
Is that Warren's quick release trousers?
It was, yes. Sorry.
Your blood pressure, was it?
Actually, if you don't mind a few questions about the Jubilee, of course, there's a lot of Americans who are super fascinated by it. But
we're the experts.
I don't know. I gather, first of all, you have a long weekend. It's a bit of a holiday.
We had it on Thursday and Friday, yeah. So It was a weird time.
Lisa wishes to point out that she's had no holiday whatsoever and has worked entirely normally. So, so that's true for some people, but not for everyone. Yeah.
Gotcha. And is she ever going to let her son be the king? God damn it! What the hell's that all about?
Well, Lisa.
Got a son.
Son. Deary me, I'm learning things today.
Yeah, we all are, mate.
She wasn't related to George the Santa Claus. That was Elaine in Southern Park. I don't think she had a fictional son. But,
I think there's some kind of debate over that at the moment, isn't there? Whether she's going to let him.
I think he's been standing in for her and doing some. I think I heard somebody say that he's basically is the king now, or he's doing a lot of her job because she can't cope with doing it anymore.
I loved the state opening of Parliament where she was so appalled by what Boris and his bunch wanted to do that she sent her hat.
I think he's like work experience for him, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Try before you buy.
His CV is a bit poor, isn't it?
He's probably on minimum wage doing it, isn't he? Sort of 10 quid an hour.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be horrible if he was, coronated someday and then he served as king like 2 days and then died? That would be...
He's heading into his 70s.
I know. That's what I mean.
Or he is in his 70s somewhere.
I think it would be. It sounds cruel, but I think it would be advantageous for the youngsters to take over now.
Even the youngsters aren't very. I mean, William turns 40 this year because he's the same age as my brother. So.
Really? Is he 40? Good Lord.
God, that's hard to believe. About 40 years ago, that happened with the popes. A pope died, another fellow was made a pope, and he served for about a month, and then it was all over for him, and they had to get another pope.
Well, that's part of the plot of Godfather 3, isn't it?
What, killing the pope?
Yeah. It's, he's a bit of a wrong and that's why we get John Paul II. He was John Paul 1. And he was only in office for about 30 days, or maybe even 13 days. I'm not sure.
Well, not the John Paul from Doomwatch. No,
not John. Not no.
The Pope with the polar neck.
He was very worried about the planet, though. But
hold that thought. We might be coming back to Doomwatch later because I want to talk about British TV in 1970, but we'll do that later on in the show.
Okay.
One of the things Toppy, if you have any further Jubilee questions, we can come back to you later. But
okay.
I was really surprised to find out that how many really famous characters are coming up to getting the end of their copyright dates. So I think Pooh Bear is out of copyright now, and Mickey Mouse is about 2 years away from being out of copyright, and Superman and Batman and all that. And
how do you feel about that? I don't get it. I mean, if you own a character, what's wrong with always owning it? You invented it. It's your character. Who's the guy that said, but at a certain point, he's just no longer your character. Sorry.
I can understand if it's a character that's fallen out of use, but Pooh Bear and Mickey Mouse and Superman and Batman all have current incarnations that they're still very much working creatures and superheroes. It's not like you think you just be able to keep renewing the apparently there's the difference between copyright and trademark as well. So I think say, for instance, when Mickey Mouse falls out of copyright, it'll just be what he looked like, and as it passes what he looked like right at the start will be out of copyright. But it all seems very confusing. Because the reason I found out about it was that I saw that there was going to be a Pooh Bear horror movie with Pooh Bear as a really horrible character, and then I read
what a sort of zombie Pooh Bear.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sort of, from a creator's rights point of view, I'm sort of like I don't like it. But on the other hand, I love the subversive possibilities of, the many terrible ways we could use Mickey Mouse in something.
I'm just wondering if sometime later in the year Charlie Gurr's going to turn up with Pooh Bear in tow, and he's going to be like streaking and swearing, and Charlie's going to be very embarrassed by him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens.
I imagine the Disney lawyers are already working on it, and they'll find a way. They'll say they re-registered it as a new, as a new thing in 1972 or something.
I think with Mickey Mouse that did happen, because I think possibly it used to be, the rule used to be like 75 years, and about 20 years ago they did get it changed to make it 95, and now that's about to pass. So I think if you could do it for then, you could just keep doing it. But
perpetuity.
It's weird. I guess the idea that something would be like you just said in perpetuity, like Bram Stoker's Dracula fell into public domain, but his wife and ancestors were getting money from that book for quite a while until it fell into public domain. And I guess it would be silly to think that these ancestors are forever going to be getting money from the book, but it
was supposed to. I mean, the time involved was because they didn't expect anybody to live as long. This is why the musicians have problems, isn't it? After 50 years.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Their pension suddenly disappears because the music they were making when they were 19, 20, suddenly they're 69, and suddenly they're no longer getting royalties.
Now, Trey, we were going to ask you about Lisa, but we where she is today. But we actually have a little recording.
Yes.
Yes.
Lisa is at work at present, serving the general public in her usual fashion.
Yes, well, I believe she called you up to say hello, and then something rather dramatic happened.
Yeah. Normally, I would have a quick natter to her, sort of in her lunch break, or because I've got to go and pick her up later. Yeah. She'll ask whether I want anything, if you'll pardon the expression. But we do have a recording of something rather odd that happened.
I think you should probably play that now.
Hello?
Hello, it's me. I've just finished work. Did you want anything?
I could do with some jam. Can you get some jam?
Okay, what flavour?
Can you get me some strawberry? Seedless strawberry, I like that.
Okay, anything else?
I could do with some Monster Munch. You can get some beef ones.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah?
I'll just not shop those. Hang on.
All right.
Oh, damn. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the time travel button on the app.
Oh, where are you going?
I don't know, but it might be a few minutes. Hang on.
You there?
Yeah. I seem to be in a castle.
A castle? What are you doing in a castle?
Well, there's a lot of stone and fires, and it looks really new. So... yeah. Oh, hang on. There's somebody coming down the corridor.
Who is it? What?
I think it's Henry VIII.
Henry VIII?
Yes, it's a sort of big fat man.
Oh, Christ. Don't catch his eye.
I'll try not to. Oh, damn, he spotted the jam. I'm going to run this way.
What's he after your jam for?
He wants jam. He wants jam. I've given him the Monster Munch, but that's not slowed him down very much.
I didn't know he liked jam.
Well, no, neither did I. I thought he only liked meaty things. He did want meat jam, but I explained they don't do meat jam.
Meat jam, Christ.
Yeah, beef jam.
Has he got anything? Has he got anything to spread the jam with?
Yeah, he's got 6 knives.
Henry VIII and his 6 knives.
Yeah.
That's an old Blackadder joke, you idiot.
No, Your Majesty, no, sorry, no, I can't marry you. No, you already have a wife. You don't have a wife. Oh, you accept that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Your Majesty, yeah, that would be lovely. Perhaps you'd better go and prepare, Your Majesty. Yeah.
I think you better get out of there. Can you press the button again?
Yeah, I'll press the button again.
Yeah. See if you can get back here.
Okay. Oh, no. I'm in the country.
What? You where?
In the country.
In the country?
There's a big house.
Yeah.
There's a monkey on the roof with a baby.
A monkey and a baby?
There's a monkey on the roof of a house, and it's, oh God, it's Oliver Cromwell.
What, the monkey is, or the baby?
No, the baby's Oliver Cromwell.
Right.
The monkey's got Oliver Cromwell.
I knew Oliver Cromwell wasn't a monkey, but
No.
I suppose he was a baby. What year will that be?
It's going to be about 1600.
All right. Well.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get him down, aren't I? I can't let him drop the monkey drop the baby.
You still got the jam?
Yeah.
Wave the jam at the monkey.
The monkey got jam?
I don't know, baby.
Okay. Monkey. Yeah, the monkey's he's coming down.
All right.
He's coming down and he's swinging the baby and he's put the baby down on the ground very gently.
Oh, you've saved Oliver Cromwell with some jam and a monkey.
Yeah. I don't know whether it was worth saving Oliver Cromwell, really, but I suppose you have to keep history as it is.
Are you making history here?
Well, saving history.
All right. Well, try coming back closer to here.
Okay, right, I'm pressing the buttons again.
Yeah, right.
Well, I've gone forward a bit.
Yeah?
Seem to be in London, because I can see the Tower of London.
Yeah, well, that could be anywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of horse and cart, and put it this way, the streets aren't very nice.
Are you in the shite?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, and I think they might have just got rid of the king, because there seems to be lots of people walking around in hats and funny collars.
Good, big hats and cloaks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When do you reckon it is now?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Not sure.
Is anyone there you know?
Well, funny enough, I can see Oliver Cromwell again.
Cromwell?
Yeah.
Well, he's not. Is he a baby or a monkey now?
No, he's not a monkey or a baby. He's all grown up.
All right. How old does he look?
He's in his 50s, so quite old really for the time.
Oh, so you sort of Civil War period now then?
A little bit after, I think.
All right.
People seem to be calling him Lord Protector.
All right. See if he wants some jam.
I'll go and see him.
All right.
Yeah. Hello, sir. How are you? Would you like some jam? No, he says it's simple.
He says the jam's simple.
Sinful.
Sinful? What's sinful about jam?
Because it gives you pleasure.
Pardon? It depends what you do with it.
Because it tastes nice.
There's nothing wrong with strawberry jam.
Well, it's because it's seedless. He says that's especially sinful.
Why, you've got to have seeds in it?
Apparently so. Yeah.
Well, I don't want seeds in it. Gets in your teeth. Gets under me plate if I had one. Like Mr. Granger.
Yeah, Mr. Granger. God. Yeah.
Oh, God. Right, I don't think this is doing any good. Can you try and twist the knob a bit further?
There isn't any knob, is there?
Well, whatever you do with it, I don't know how this to work.
I'm going to pump some coke.
Have another go.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is weird. I can see the time going past me as I move now.
Oh, is it like?
Hold a second.
Is it like the time machine? Are people's skirts going up and down?
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
Most of them are quite heavy, so they don't really flap too much.
Right.
But yeah, that I've seen Charles II.
What was he doing?
He was very merry. So, No, there's a weird cat scraping something as well. So
There's a what? A cat?
a weird cat.
A time cat?
A time cat. Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm going all through the 18th century. I've seen Queen Anne.
Queen Anne's legs.
Queen Anne's legs, yeah.
Are they bandy? Are they
No,
bandy
they're not.
legs?
They're nice legs.
Oh.
They're good legs. And all the Georges. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Georges. Hey, Your Majesty, yeah. George III says hi.
Hello. Yeah. Wave at him.
Yeah. He's waving at a tree.
Yeah. Right.
There's George IV. God, he is fat. I'm William IV. Yeah,
right.
he's very nice. Yeah. Head like a pineapple.
What, all leaves coming out the top?
No, it's shaped like a pineapple.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, pineapples are spiky. Have you got a spiky head?
Spiky, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I stopped for a minute. Okay.
Where are you now?
I seem to be on the Isle of Wight at Osborne House.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah, we have.
We're not there, are we? We haven't. You're not in on our own timeline, are you?
No. It looks very new. And there's not lots of people around because the last time we were there and there were tourists there, we couldn't stop, could we? We had to keep on walking.
All right.
Otherwise, you got a tourist up your bottom.
Is it occupied? Are the people there?
There are people around. Everybody's wearing black.
All right.
That probably means Queen Victoria's here somewhere.
All right.
Oh, there she is.
What's she doing?
She's just
gesticulating.
She's just sort of sitting. So
All right.
I think she'd like some jam.
Offer her the jam.
Yeah, she's having scones.
All right. Yeah.
So she'd probably like a bit of jam.
Make sure you put it on the right way round, because there's no argument about that. Whether the cream and the jam or the jam and the cream.
Yeah, I mean, at least she's not it's not having a whiskey and a port together.
Mm. Oh yeah, she used to mix her drinks, didn't she?
She did.
Christ.
Hello, Your Majesty. Yeah. She'd like some jam? Yeah, she doesn't like strawberry jam.
She doesn't like it?
No. She prefers blackberry.
All right. So, are you telling me she was not jam used?
I'm coming back.
Right, you come back. You don't forget to pay for it though.
No, okay, I'll go back to.
You go back to work, and then I'll come and pick you up. All right.
Okay, all right.
See you later then.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So, gosh. So she basically. So what happened there? She pressed the wrong button on her phone and ended up.
Well, she's got a relatively new phone, and now we've got this thing where when we go shopping, we scan all the stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through the checkout at the end.
No.
All you do is you wave your phone at the self-service till, and it'll charge you for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on the desktop of her phone, the scanning thing, the icon is right next to the time travel icon. And unfortunately, I think maybe we should sort out the icons on her desktop. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what happened
back
there.
Safely now, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's fine now. But yeah, in fact, I've got to go and get her later. But yeah, it's
That sounds like she went to some interesting places. But...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's. We haven't really experimented with this app yet. It's quite a new app on the phone, but I don't know whether you can install one on yours, Paul. Then it's in the App Store. So,
gee, I'm game. I got to know the name of this app.
Yeah, I'll have a word with her and she can tell me about it. Oh, well, thank you for sharing us. Thank you for sharing.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock.
Yes.
Well, listen, wherever you guys go in time travel, don't step on butterflies.
Oh no. No.
Now we're going to go and have a look. We're going to kind of time travel ourselves. We're going back to 1970 in British TV, and I'm going to tell you some facts. Talking about history, the 1st of January to the 5th of February, BBC Two airs The Six Wives of Henry VIII,
Oh,
series of 6 teleplays.
And Lisa's talked about those.
Yeah.
For Martin, I believe.
Oh yes, indeed. Yes, she has.
Yeah, on a Tudor historical drama episode.
Indeed.
And then the 3rd of January, John Pertwee made his debut as the third Doctor in Doctor Who, and it also marked the first time that Doctor Who was broadcast in colour.
Spearhead from Space, one of those stories which I think a lot of us have on multiple formats.
Yes. Yeah.
It's how many copies of Spearhead from Space do we have in our home? I've probably got about 3.
Yeah, I have.
Lightweight.
Lightweight. How many have you got?
Well, there's the Blu-ray, isn't there? There's the special edition DVD. There's the standard edition DVD.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
The VHS.
Probably
we don't have the VHS anymore.
We might have. I might have a digital copy as well.
I think the VHS came out twice.
Max.
There's. I'm not sure. They didn't release it as an audio. Did they? They didn't. They did a few of them, but not that one as audio soundtrack. But obviously the novelization. There's a fair few versions. I'm not sure it's top of the league, but it's. I mean, I think Genesis is still sort of far and away. Power's catching up, but it's
a good trivia question though. Who is the first person to be seen in colour in Doctor Who? And it's apart from John Pertwee's photograph. It's Ellis Jones as the radar operator.
That's right.
Better known for "Pardon My Genie."
I remember when they were planning on showing all of the colour Doctor Who's, and then they didn't. But I was living with Callum then, and he hadn't seen much old Doctor Who. And I think if all of the ones had been made on film, like Spearhead from Space, he was quite impressed for how good it looked on film. And then, of course, when it went on to the Silurians, it was back to looking a bit like old TV, which we don't mind, but general public probably were probably not so happy about it.
Oh, can I tell you a quick story? When I was really young, and we had things like public television, which was one of the few places that would play those epic stories from the UK. For example, Upstairs, Downstairs, and the other one you mentioned, I think, Martin, the 8 wives of, or the 6, whatever that was.
Yeah, 6 wives of Henry VIII.
Okay, we would see those on public television, and I would sometimes sit down and watch them, and they seemed very, very adult, first of all. And here's the funny thing to me is there was something different about the way everything looked. And somehow you could tell most of the scenes weren't on a set, but in a real place. Those are the two things. But the thing that I noticed, but I couldn't understand, is why it looks so different. And it's because I didn't understand that it was shot on video, not on film. So I just couldn't figure out why it looked different. That's one of the things I remember. Why does this look so different?
There's also that 625 to 525 conversion thing, which happens for American broadcasting, which is just it can really smear stuff. You know, it can really make stuff look a lot worse. Sometimes it makes it look a lot better. So it's swings and roundabouts.
It's funny. My memory is that things look more real on these British shows.
Well, I always argue that real life looks like videotape. And film looks like it's got a filter in front of it. So yeah, I agree that videotape just. I'm very in favour of videotape as a medium. Yeah.
Aren't there those episodes of The Twilight Zone that were done on video? They look really weird.
They do, yeah.
Things like Ghost Squad as well, where they did a season on videotape, which looks very strange after you've watched the film series. So I'm still trying to work out whether we can do the 8 wives of Henry VI. I don't know.
Well, in February 1970, we have Doomwatch, which how do we describe Doomwatch to Toppy?
I was going to say Toppy probably doesn't know Doomwatch.
I do not.
No. Oh,
not even the film.
It's environmental. So Doomwatch, DWOM,
Okay.
So it's basically science going wrong, isn't it?
No, I don't think I know about this.
No.
Well, it's what we call an ecological thriller type series, isn't it?
A bit like the 11th Hour about years ago, I suppose. Yeah.
Basically, it's a government who investigate when science
goes wrong.
Experiments go wrong. So you get killer rats and melting aeroplanes. So,
made with
on a very low budget. Yeah,
very low budget,
and much of which doesn't exist anymore, which is another slight problem with it. Which is probably why it's not internationally available, is it?
In a forthcoming episode, Nick and I discuss The Islanders. I think we watched the other day, where we did our increasingly drunken TV watching episode.
But Martin, what were the two that you did? The Web of Fear.
We did the Web of Fear because we thought it was
Violence.
hilarious, and we did Sex and Violence, which is the one that hasn't been transmitted. But I think Sex and Violence is one of those scripts that should be dusted down and redone for a modern audience, because it predicts Farage in a very big way.
Yeah, it's basically political animals on the make, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. But of course, people just call it woke now and say, "Oh, you're the typical BBC." You think, the script was written 50-odd years ago, mate. But there we
go. Other debuts in 1970. In February we have the Banana Splits being shown for the first time. And Up Up Pompeii in late March, on the 6th of April, HTV starts broadcasting in colour from the Wenbo transmitting station.
Good Lord.
And from this day, the station becomes known on air as HTV rather than Harlech Television.
Harlech Television?
Yes. Wales was finally allowed to be in colour, you know. It's it's lovely. It's Harlech Castle.
Harlech Cumbrae.
On the 8th of July, Jack Walker dies off screen of a heart attack in Coronation Street as a result of the death of actor Arthur Leslie. Jack becomes the first major character to be written out due to the death of an actor.
Oh, I thought it was because his wife smiled.
I don't think I know much about that character at all. But,
so was it always the case if someone in real life passed that they would not replace him with another actor, or did they do that as well?
Didn't do it as much in those days. I think it depended. If someone was elderly and much loved, they didn't. But if they were young and a teenager, they could go upstairs for 4 years, come down with a different head on.
Right.
When
I was just going to say, we famously have Bewitched with the two Darrens.
Yeah. And it
recently watched the first 4 episodes of Coronation Street from 1960, and it's actually Jack I keep thinking Jack Walker was under suspicion of having naughty magazines. Yes. There we go.
Yeah, that because there's 1 or 2 recastings in Dark Shadows, but I wasn't familiar with head changings on soap operas because I hadn't really watched until I started watching Neighbours in the 80s. I hadn't really seen any soap operas.
I know they changed round Bouncer, didn't they? A couple of times. I spotted that.
Well, there were 2 Darrens on Bewitched, of course.
Yes.
And the Miss Ellie controversy later on.
And yes, there's EastEnders, wasn't it? Mark Fowler was a different actor.
Yes, indeed. In fact, wasn't Pat Butcher a different actor in the early years?
There may have been one before she was a regular character, maybe. But, what else have we got? In September, UFO starts. Joe Anderson.
I'm wearing my purple wig. Can you not see?
Yeah,
you're always wearing your pearl. I just thought you painted your head purple.
You let them into my secret.
And, also in September, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Makes its UK debut, as does the Pink Panther show.
Yeah, that's a crossover I'd like to see.
Now, Pink Panther could...
Scooby-Doo UFO, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think... did they ever do a UFO show? No, I think they stuck to spooks because the ending was always the same. Oh, you're really Mr. Jameson, the store owner. under the mask.
Oh, we would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
That's right. There you go. Hey, Paul,
I remember. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, you remember you spoke of UFO, and I can tell you, as a little kid, the 4 British TV shows that had the biggest impact on me. One was UFO, because it was just so, well, at that age I would have said freaking awesome. And there was The Prisoner, which was
freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. And then there was The Avengers, freaking awesome. And the last of the imports that I just couldn't get enough of were all those marionette shows like Thunderbirds and what have you. Those are the 4 that really come to mind that were like, my God, these things are the greatest things I've ever seen.
A friend of mine used to work on Thunderbirds because he got the job because he knew a man who could pull strings. Oh, sorry.
Go and sit in the corner.
There's a time out there for Warren.
Other debuts in November include The Goodies and
that's the Tower of London episode, isn't it? So,
and Screen Test, the children's movie quiz. One of the things that's slightly earlier, back in September, is the first colour edition of Blue Peter is aired on the 14th of September 1970, but the last black and white edition will be transmitted on the 24th of June 1974. The programme alternates between colour and black and white depending on studio allocation.
Yeah, because
never even noticed.
Yeah, because people think there was one day where they flicked a big switch at TV Centre and everything went into colour, and that's not true at all. It took bloody ages. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it took as long here, but it didn't. It absolutely didn't happen all at once. There were shows that did it a couple, 3 years before most of them went, but yeah, so it sort of trickled through.
I think it was Paul. Is it you telling me that Australia it took years?
Yeah, they didn't go into colour until about 75. I don't think.
I think that's about the same in the Channel Islands, because isn't there that episode of Who Done It where John Pertwee comes on and says this is the first programme to be shown in colour in the Channel Islands or some weird thing, and that's mid-70s. Yeah.
John Pertwee in colour on the Channel Islands.
Another show that started with,
and then they burned him.
Burnt the effigy of him on a tall hill.
What magic is this? What witchcraft?
I'm sorry, Paul. I just in the late 60s when a lot of network shows were going color, I love the fact that you can still see on the titles, many of them said in color, because most people had black and white TV sets and they never would have known it was in color. So they told you in color.
Well, there is a tape of continuity from November 1969 around the time of Apollo 12, and you get the BBC One logo coming up. This is BBC One in color, and now tonight's episode of Z-Cars in black and white.
I don't think we got a colour TV till about 76, 77.
We were 74.
Honestly, that's about when my family.
I remember going to stay with my great aunt, and I think this was even in the mid 80s. I remember watching Star Trek or a repeat of Star Trek on my great aunt's TV in the mid 80s in black and white. So I don't think she was that quick to get a colour TV for some reason. But,
cheaper license, mate. Cheaper license.
I think Lisa says that her grandma or something used to rent a black and white telly for so long that by the time she sort of wanted to return the telly, they wouldn't take it back because it was so old. And I think her dad just dumped it outside the store and ran away.
My first portable in my bedroom was black and white.
So was mine, yeah. Little Ferguson thing.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
With a sort of coat hanger aerial.
Other 1970s shows that started were Ace of Wands, Time Slip, and the less exciting Queenie's Castle with Diana Dawes, which I reviewed on Around the Archives. The only thing I ever reviewed for Around the Archives, which I didn't do because I liked it, I just wanted to review something with Diana Dawes, and then we found we didn't really enjoy it. But my least enthusiastic.
Yeah, I've made no more progress on those discs either, Paul. They've just sat there for years.
And also, Steptoe and Son returned in 1970, having been away for 5 years.
The only show you've mentioned recently, the last series of shows you mentioned, the only one that I recognize that was definitely played here was The Goodies. All the others you've mentioned, I don't know about.
But 8 of Wands is one of those shows that was meant for kids, but even kids that weren't alive and saw it the first time round, even adults, was kind of a show that I really like, having discovered it, and not much of it exists, but it's just one of those kids shows that could easily be made for adults, or you could see it coming back. It's just about a magician and his assistants. It's sort of, it could be a sort of almost like an ITV's version of Doctor Who, with rather than being science fiction.
I think the 70s were a great time for experimentation for kids' programs. They would do the most weirdest stuff they could get away with. And because it was TV for kids, nobody really took much notice in vetting any of it or looking through and going, we can't put that out. But some of it could be really weird, really off-the-wall stuff.
Do you think that because Doctor Who, it was so long-lived and it must have been popular enough to keep doing it, do you think that other creators were like trying to go for the next Doctor Who, where they say we can come up with something like Doctor Who, and that's why there was a lot of weird things, like maybe the experimentists. It was just they wanted to get the next Doctor Who.
Yeah, and then sort of later on, in the late 70s, ITV would be buying expensive American shows like Buck Rogers, and to try and out Jubilee. To try and sort of, well, we haven't got Doctor Who, but this is something that's far more.
We had Tomorrow People on Channel 3, didn't we? I suppose that was aiming for the Doctor Who niche, wasn't it?
Mm.
And that had an element of longevity in it.
Yeah. Now, I think it's time. We're going to do a Shy Life podcast flashback, so I need some help with picking a couple of clips. So, Andrew, can you pick a year between 2016 and 2022?
Yes, I can. 2017.
Okay.
2017.
And Warren, can you pick a month, please?
April, please.
And Toppy, can you pick a part of the month, like early, mid, late?
Late.
Oh, this is one of my favourites. Well, there's two weird ones from late April 2017. One is episode 72, The Hunt for Bold Sasquatch. So when we were searching for Bold Sasquatch, who was sort of my confident alter ego. And then the episode after that, episode 73 from the 29th of April 2017, was called Gassing on the Top Deck. And
oh dear.
It was it was be on a bus and various guests getting on at different stops, and
you gassed them.
Yes, we nattered with them.
Oh.
We'll put a couple of clips from those episodes on.
Hello, yes, it is me. I am recording for the Shy Yeti Supporters podcast. Yes, it used to be Stalking Shy Yeti, the podcast, but I have now started up a fan club for Shy Yeti because I feel that what he does is very important. Yes, I am a big supporter of Shy Yeti, and I have realized that I have done some really bad things, and I want to make up for them, and I am trying to, I've said to him I'm trying to make amends, and I want to find Bald Sasquatch and help cure him. Yes, because what I have done, well, it is wrong, and I need to, I need to correct what I have done. But I know that, I suppose they do not want to trust me because, I have been very, I have let them down. It is true, I have let them down. So, what can I say? I am recording for... Yes. I can see some people I recognize. You think that is Mr. Twinklehorn and Miss Dupre. Maybe I should go and speak to them. Yes, maybe.
Come on, dummies. Oh dear, I don't know why we got ourselves involved in this. I really don't, but I suppose we need to help.
Yes, it's kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it? I'm a bit worried that we might find him.
Yes, darling, I know, but we'll be together. It'll be fine. We'll stick together, and if we see anything horrible, I'll just sing him a lullaby or something, or you can pretend to be a hat stand.
Yes, I suppose so. Who's that?
Oh my goodness, is that Bald Sasquatch?
No, stop, it is me, Carmody. Hello, it is I. I am searching for Bald Sasquatch too. We should join together. I might have some information, and I am trying to help.
Yes, so I hear. I'm not sure that Paul believes you, though.
No, I don't think he does.
No, I can be trusted. Please, let me show you. I show you what I know. I take you. I have things. There are things I can tell you.
Very well, but just you be careful. Don't you try anything.
No, I will try nothing. John, what's up? Oh, nothing. Oh, John. Oh, dear, I can smell that. Oh, sorry. Sorry about it. It's Uncle John, we're on a bus. You've been reading poems on a bus. Yes, I know I have, but I haven't been belching publicly. Oh, go on, do what you like. Should I? I won't make a smell or anything. No, I hope you won't. Go on, get off this bus. Oh, I'm sorry. It's been very nice catching up. Yes, it has been very nice. It's been very nice catching up. Oh dear. Anyway. Bye, John. Yes, John's leaving. John's waving. He's heading downstairs. Yes, we're on the top deck of the bus. Did I say that? I can't remember. But yes, we're on the top deck of the bus. So my next guest is not yet here. So presumably they're going to board around the top because the bus is about to stop. So John will be getting off. I don't know if the new guest is getting on, but anyway, I've got a smooth orange juice here. I'm going to open it up because I'm a little bit parched. I don't think I can wait until I get to the pub. It's the trouble with working in a library and on an inquiry desk. You don't always get to drink as much as you should because you're distracted and busy. But yes, I have smooth orange juice from concentrate made with 100% fruit juice, sold at Sainsbury's supermarket. Yes, so it's a little carton with a straw that goes in the top. You have to be careful when you pierce through the hole that it doesn't leak out before the. No, it's fine. It's working fine. So I'm just going to take a little sip. So. Oh, that's good. You'll probably hear me slurping when I reach the bottom. The bottom of the carton, not the bottom of... Anyway. Oh, here comes our next guest. Hello. Bettina, hello. Come and sit down.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hello, darling. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. Did you see Yeti Uncle John getting off the bus?
I saw him, darling, but I didn't get to speak to him. I was getting on the front and he was getting off the back. Said the actress to the bishop. That's what she said. Oh dear. So what's going on, darling?
Oh, well, we're just travelling from Victoria to St Paul's on this number 11 bus, and I'm going to meet some friends, and yeah. How are you doing? We've been up to much. How's Nathan?
Oh, darling, Nathan's lovely, 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 yes. Oh, yes, what have we been doing? We're planning another holiday. Well, we had a weekend in York recently, but that was lovely.
Oh, I like York. For those of you who don't know, York is, I don't know, a couple of hours away from London on the train. Right. I'm going to choose a couple more. So, Warren, can you pick a year between 2016 and 2022?
2018, please.
Has anyone not had a go? Has that been everybody? Andrew, can you pick for Lisa, please?
I will pick for Lisa. July.
And let's have Toppy again. What part of the month would you like, Toppy?
Oh, let's go early this time.
July the 7th, 2018 is episode 180, and it's Yeti'S Danish Adventure. This was an episode we recorded in Copenhagen.
Blimey.
We visited.
Did you have gold ringlets?
We did.
Plaited?
Yes. That trip was really strange. I slept really well every night, but it was almost like the heat was it's almost like you'd taken a sleeping pill. It made you sort of really dozy by the end of the evening. But I also remember the hotel was very good. The bath was absolutely enormous. Like so much so that you were a bit worried you'd slip under. If you fell asleep, you'd slip under and drown. It was like it wasn't exactly a bath. Certainly wasn't a swimming pool size, but it was.
I imagine you swimming through it like sort of Marina from Stingray or something, with your hair cascading.
Yeah,
Marina, Aqua Marina.
Yes, we'll play a clip from episode 180.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Welcome to Copenhagen. The local timer here is 1 hour ahead of the UK, and it's now just approaching 20 to 5 in the afternoon. But please know we have arrived approximately 15 to 20 minutes early. Very shortly, the cabin crew will be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, the seatbelt sign will remain illuminated and the aircraft will still be moving. We ask you to please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain has turned off the overhead signs. Portable electronic devices such as mobile phones for messaging, calls and access to the internet may now be used. We'd also like to remind you that smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated area. When you're leaving us today, please do ensure that you take all of your belongings with you. Do check underneath the seat, in the overhead lockers and also in the seat pockets. When you do open the lockers, please be aware items may have moved during the flight and they could fall out, injuring you or another customer seated around you. We're not going to be leaving you in the care of our ground teams here in Copenhagen, and they're available inside of the terminal to complete your EasyJet journey. They're also there if you need anything further from us. On behalf of your entire onboard team, it has certainly been an absolute pleasure looking after you. We'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with EasyJet, and we do certainly look forward to seeing you on another one of our services in the not too distant future. I would also like to take this opportunity to wish you a very safe and pleasant onward journey from the airport this afternoon to your final destination. Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon.
Hello listeners, it's me, Paul. I'm just recording a quick message to say that, we're in Copenhagen. We arrived this afternoon, and, to be honest, we haven't done a great deal. It was a pretty good trip. We got to the airport in good time. We had Wagamamas because we got there around lunchtime, and we thought, we may as well eat as we got the time to eat, because when we arrive on holiday, we often don't feel like doing that much after a long day's travelling. So the time went very quickly. Next thing we knew, we were being called onto the flight. I think it was a bit of a smaller plane than usual because there was actually no space for our bags. I don't quite know how they work it out. You'd think that if every person getting on the plane was allowed one bag of a certain size, which my bag most certainly was, then there would always be room for everybody. But it appeared not. But they found somewhere for it anyway. I suppose some people maybe don't have any hand luggage at all. They just put all of their luggage in the hold of the plane. But anyway, the flight was a lot quicker than expected. Well, when I say a lot, it was about 25 minutes quicker. We were expecting to arrive about 5, and we arrived more like 4:30. Of course, the clocks went on an hour, so I think I had time to listen to the latest Smellcast, the latest Vera, and about half of the Adam Buxton podcast. And before I knew it, there I was. We didn't have any baggage to collect, so we headed down to the trains. We already had our tickets, so we got the first train into Copenhagen, and then it was only about 10 minutes walk, probably less, to be honest, to the hotel. And we've got a lovely room, a nice bedroom, and a sort of TV room, you could say. We've actually got 2 TVs, one in the bedroom and one in this sort of lounge room, which is on the way to the bathroom, which the bathroom is absolutely enormous. There's a bath and a shower, but, the bathroom must be as big, if not bigger, than the actual bedroom. We have 2 sinks.
There we go. Right, let's see. We could have a quiz. It won't be a Jubilee quiz, you'll be glad to hear.
Let me guillotine out, specially.
They seem to have updated this site I usually use, but I don't know that'll mean it'll be any better than usual. But perhaps we could do food and drink. I don't know. Is that too weird? What's that gonna bring up? I'm just thinking from the point of view of that's one of the good things about Jubilee parties is food and drink. We could do we could just do
stale sausage rolls.
Yeah, we could just do 10 questions, see what we get. Build the quiz. Build it. Oh, it's gone away now.
Build it and they shall come.
Yes. Oh, we've Warren, Proby and I are very excited because tonight is.
I'm sorry. You can see from there.
We're very excited because tonight. Oh, here's the question. Oh. Tonight, in our favourite computer game, Fortnite, everything is about to change. But we don't know what's going to change, do we?
It's going to change to colour.
Yeah.
It might be. I warn you, Paul. It might be the last day you get to be Annika Rice for a while.
Oh yes,
helicopters might go away. You've been flying about above us, haven't you?
I like doing that. It's good fun being in the helicopter, except there's no weapons, so you have to have people helping you.
I don't know how it's going to work tonight, because I've heard a rumour that you will be in a squad of 4, even if you start off with 3 in your squad. So we might end up playing with a random boy.
Dear.
Well,
we might be assigned an extra.
Is that going to be your defence to the judge?
Yes.
About a season ago, there was a monster called a Clombo who was very very cute monster, but he used to stomp around and you'd climb on his back and he'd let you ride on him.
You might be torn because Clombo might come back, but there might be Kyle.
Well, that was your lumberjack friend, wasn't it?
Lumberjack.
Yeah.
I miss him so much. But the thing is, this season,
he felled large logs.
He did. This
it was just adding Gostolo.
The Clombo, the stompy thing. You could make him really cross, and then he'd get really really angry. But this season, he seems to have been sleeping Well, there seems to be loads of them. There's these sort of mounds in the earth, and there's a Colombo sleeping underneath. And the only bit you can tell is that he has a blowhole, and if you go on the blowhole, he'll shoot you up in the air. But we're hoping all season that he was going to emerge, or all his friends were going to emerge, but he hasn't. So I'm just hoping it's going to be Invasion of the Colombo next season or something.
Oh, blimey. I can see you riding one into battle.
Yeah.
So these things actually have seasons, do they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, of about 3 months, something like that, isn't it? Or 4 months.
Does that mean there's an actual ongoing narrative?
Yeah.
I think we're roughly about into the chase by now.
Yeah.
So you'll all be leaving at the end.
Yeah.
Well, so long as we don't get stuck in a bloody basement like we did last time. Whose fault was that? Whose
London,
fault was
1965.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
My fault.
Let's see how we can get over here. Oh, we can't get out.
Yeah, so the end of the season, it's usually like it builds up to something big happening, and you can and so you go in and you play. Well, you kind of hang out in this area and the countdown's going on, and I think we were just kind of getting a bit bored, so we sort of went to explore somewhere whilst everyone else was waiting, and we ended up in this basement, and then we got stuck in the basement, and meanwhile upstairs all this exciting stuff was happening, and we couldn't see it because we were stuck in the basement and we couldn't get out of the room we were stuck in.
I just thought you guys just turned up, went there, shot a few things, and then went away again. That's
Oh no, we turned it into an art form now of incompetence.
Yeah, I love the fact that the grand season finale event, we ended up sweeping the floor.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was so embarrassing.
How do they make it an event, though? I mean, how does that work?
Well, it's a sort of live thing, so everybody comes on at the same time, and then this just storyline unfolds, and you're actually in the storyline. It's hard to explain, but I don't know how they managed to program it all, but it's quite clever
because it's interactive. Like you have to sort of. I mean, you can't, other than getting stuck in like the room like we did. Generally, there was one where there was some aliens, and we had to keep shooting rounds of aliens that kept arriving. And then one season, like the whole island turned over, and then there's a whole new city underneath, which presumably had been underwater for the last however many years. But
do you guys ever record them on Stitcher? Or something.
We stream on Twitch sometimes.
It's been a while since I've recorded anything, but you can record them, yeah.
And also, your games are saved for a certain amount of time. So occasionally, we'll put up little clips, or if we've had a particularly good win when we thought, because we're not always playing it as a 3 or a 2. We're often playing it just by ourselves.
We were playing as a fruit salad the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were 3 bananas.
Yeah.
We all dressed the same.
I did. 2 of the Warren and Troby were blue bananas, and I was a yellow banana in a Roman jerkin. That's what it was.
This is just brilliant for radio. There's a lot of people.
Your skirt was worryingly short, Paul, I have to say.
Yes.
Well, I've seen Lisa's posted things she's recorded from games she's playing.
Yeah, well, that's actually me, but because I use Lisa's account, you see.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I'd just like to see it because I can't picture how this works, but
we'll have to stream when we know you're around sometime and tell you where to go and watch us. Okay. There's a chat room, so you could.
I could just watch.
Heckle us.
Also heckle us. Yeah.
Okay, just one last question because I don't get it. All right, Paul, you said sometimes you play individually and you're doing your character or whatever, but how does anyone else know what you've done? Like, if everyone's not there. Whatever you do, they wouldn't even know about, right? Or no? Or
still
what?
100. If you're playing just one person, there's still 99 other people playing in the game, and the objective is to try and be the last one. So there's always somebody else playing. You just don't know the other 99 people. Whereas when we play together, we're playing as a team, and we're helping each other.
Oh, okay.
That's debatable.
Yes.
Yeah. We can't.
It's mine.
Yes, that happened yesterday or something, didn't it?
We bicker a lot. We're supposed to rescue each other, but most of the time we don't bother. And it gets
there's no time. There's no time.
There is. You're right by me, and it gets very abusive.
Yeah, because you can when you're playing with other people, like say I could get killed, but they can either revive. Well, to start with, when you die, you're just like crawling around, and
you need a special touch, don't you?
Yeah, they can revive you, or if you're really badly hurt, you turn into this card, and they have to pick the card up and take it to a reboot station. And all the time, obviously, the game's going on around, and somebody might see you doing it and target you and kill you before you can reboot the person. Plus, there's all the costumes and silly dances, and it's a very silly game. But you think from a sort of combat type game, it would be very, very serious. And some people do play it like that, but we like
they usually lose, though.
Yeah. I mean,
the really serious players just start shooting each other and then don't survive, whereas we piddle about and go fishing and stuff.
I like being able to run around an island dressed as some sort of Wonder Woman Amazon or a banana.
I've never seen a Wonder Woman Amazon dressed as a banana with a bit of peely skin at the top.
No, you can't mix them quite like that. But yeah, the good thing is it is a game that is possible for when I realised that I could actually win the game, not every time by any means, but just being able to get to the end and be the winner is and each game is only about no more than 25 minutes, and that's if you get right to the 20 and 25 minutes, and then the next game will start. So because the map gets smaller and smaller, there's like this thing called the storm, which means it's a circular a circle that comes slowly encroaching you, pushing you into a certain area until you're right in a really small space. So yeah, there's a time on it, and the good thing is you don't actually have to pay anything really to play the game, because a lot of these computer games can be really expensive, and also it changes around you every week something changes, but then every 3 months a massive change happens. So you can be playing the same game, but it's not going to be the same in 3 months' time. It won't be anything like the same game as it was 3 months ago.
But it's a nice sociable game, isn't it? It's sociable in the fact that you can meet regular players and you can talk to them. And
you met some German bloke the other month. Some random bloke.
Yes. I thought I was playing with some ex-Nazi soldier because he was going, strafe them! He got very excitable. Yeah. It was very bizarre.
Well, look, I think we need to play our fruit quiz. So we'll do
go on, come on,
fruit,
please.
Fruits of desires.
So I think it's going to be sort of, what type of fruit is this? So
what type of fruit am I?
Yeah. So Rosanna, Dumbarton Oaks, and Vincent are all types of what? Kiwi fruit, peach, plum, or ugly fruit?
Well, I didn't know there were varieties of all of those.
Yeah, say the names again.
Rosanna, Dumbarton Oaks, and Vincent are all type of what? Kiwi, peach, plum, or ugly fruit?
Well, I'm going to vote for plums because plums.
I was going to go plums as well.
Are a good comedy.
Any other vote?
I'm going to go with peaches.
Martin?
Peach.
It's actually kiwi fruit.
What?
Next time you look at kiwi fruit, see which one.
Every day's a school day.
What is the more commonly used French name for the zucchini? Chicory, dates, courgette, or damsons? That's easy, that one.
It's got to be courgette, isn't it?
Yeah, it's courgette.
Yeah.
Morus nigra is the Latin name for which berry? Mulberry, blackberry, strawberry, or cherry?
Blackberry, I just think.
Blackberry, I guess.
Blackberry, yeah.
I just say blackberry because of the word Niger.
It's actually mulberry, but I don't really know what a mulberry is. Like, I don't know how it looks.
It's a kind of blackberry.
Yeah.
It looks like a blackberry, so we can have a point.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a comedy show starring Carl Howman?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's Brushstrokes.
No, that was the one after.
That was the other one.
Yeah.
Which of these is a real variety of avocado? Bacon, sausage, eggs, or mash?
Bacon.
Any other votes?
Mash.
Well, Warren, I'd have thought you'd have gone for a sausage, but I'll go for sausage.
It is actually bacon. Did you know that, Warren? Or was that a good guess?
No, I knew that one.
Are you an avocado expert?
I've had avocado once, and it was bacon avocado, and it was when I was 8 years old, and it tasted vile, and I've never forgotten about it. And I knew some point in my life it would come in useful.
Oh, boo!
Which four-letter word beginning with F is a puffer fish eaten as a Japanese delicacy after highly poisonous parts have been removed by an authorized chef?
Fugu.
Yes. What is the name of the drink consisting of cider and lager in equal proportions?
Snake bite.
Yeah.
No, it's got to have blackcurrant in snake bite.
I thought it had to have blackcurrant as well, but it still says.
Oh, that's interesting.
Unless it could. Well, no. Maybe it's regional differences. Is it?
No.
You have the depth charge.
Is that when you drop a shot of something into?
Into some cider.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it, but I think
I don't remember the next day very much.
Beta vulgaris is the Latin name for what? Beetroot, broccoli, broad beans, or cabbage?
I think he was in the second season of Star Trek, the original series.
I'll go for broccoli.
I'll go for beetroot just to be different.
It is beetroot, yeah.
Oh.
Well. That was guesswork.
An Arthur Turner plant produces what kind of fruit?
What?
An Arthur Turner. An Arthur Turner plant produces which kind of fruit? Apple, peach, pear, or plum?
Oh, he'll be running off with the Christmas club money.
Oh, dear Lord. I'm going to say apple.
I'll go for apple as well.
Or a pear.
I like a nice pear.
Oh, what a lovely looking pear.
Deals is still here. A hangover cure made traditionally with raw egg, Worcestershire sauce, and seasoning is known as a prairie what?
Dog.
Yeah, because it's hair of the dog.
Oh.
It's a prairie oyster.
Really?
Well,
it's a hair of the oyster.
Hairy oyster. That's wrong.
I don't want to know about your hairy oysters.
And the last question is: which vitamin is most prominent in a Swede? E, C, D, or A?
I have not one recently.
C.
It is vitamin C. Yes.
Swedish people have a lot of vitamin C.
Some of them are very orange.
Well, why is there no C in ABBA then?
Yes.
Are they named after their vitamins?
Yeah, too confusing. How would you know that?
Blood type.
Yeah. Well, listeners, we're nearly done now. We probably will come back after the music just to discuss a few more American words. But before we do go, I just want to ask around how are all your podcasts? I think you were doing a matinee minutia last night, weren't you, Toppy?
Yeah, we did. We in America, June is Pride Month, Gay Pride Month, and so we're doing 2 gay-themed movies. Last night we did Making Love from the late 70s, early 80s, and it was Kate Jackson, Michael Ontkean, and Harry Hamlin, and it was a complete flop when it came out. And nobody was interested in it, but it was a bit of a breakthrough movie. So that's what we did last night on Matinee Minutia.
I had a little cinema moment as well. I watched something called End of the Century, which was, I think it's an Argentinian film, but it's set in Barcelona about 2 guys who meet up and realise they last met 20 years ago. And it was pretty good. One of my friends is in Barcelona at the moment, so I was... I have been to Barcelona a couple of times. And how's the smell cast?
We're doing fine. Finished the great big Boppity Hop race of 2022.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I'll sit here quietly, but yeah, that was fantastic. I was really enthralled by that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I was very pleased with that. And now we're doing... I want to just do some individual shows, so we've been doing a little bit of this and that ever since.
I found an article I saw an article in the Metro that there's some mutant gerbils or something.
Yes.
And I was like, just a minute, that happened in this podcast.
Well, yeah.
Your life is becoming. So if you get any yoga vampires turning up, I'll be really scared.
Run for the hills.
Yeah, we've listeners. Toppy and I have been doing quite a lot of recording, but because there's sort of stories that need to come out in a particular order, they may take a little while longer. But yes, we've been having a lot of silliness, haven't we, recently? So. And Warren, you've had a name change. Not you, but your podcast.
Podcast had a name change. Was formerly a raspberry midi and a foot-long dog, but that can take so long.
Will be again.
And will be. And unfortunately, it takes so long to put into the search engine. So mainly this was caused by Martin several months ago, referring to it as the sausage. So I've renamed it the Cinematic Sausage.
Oh.
You had a little Twitter poll as well, and that was my choice as well. Well, I mean, that was the one I voted for, so I was pleased that that was the victory.
Yeah, there were a few name suggestions, and that's the one that ended up with 44%.
You've got a shiny new logo, haven't you?
I have a shiny new logo by the talented artiste.
I bet Martin did that, right?
Yeah.
He did, yes.
Nice.
And you've just released an episode with Lisa talking about Hammer.
Yeah, Lisa, relative newcomer to Hammer Films, and that's her journey watching a number of Hammer horror films. So
I was upstairs on the bed for that one. I was banished upstairs
to the dungeon.
I haven't heard it yet.
Well, where Lisa looks at amazing things like tit tape. I shall say no more.
And Martin, talk about tit tape. Martin.
Sounds about right. I'm personally on hiatus at the moment, but the show, because we have a couple in the bank, will theoretically, because obviously the people who run Fab are actually in America at the moment. So unless they have access to their online jiggery pokery, which I'm sure they do because they've downloaded the show, so we should be on tomorrow, which is, of course, Warren, actually, weirdly. So yeah, that's ticking along as weekly as it can be.
And Troby, will there be around the archives in June?
That's the theory, anyway. At the moment, we seem to be doing more for everybody else than we are for our own thing. Because we've done. Have we got at least 2 in the bank for you, Martin? Something like that.
1.
Because we've done the Are You Being Served one, although the Gremlins got into that one, didn't they?
Yes, it has been out, that one.
Yeah. We were cut off in our pride.
Yeah. I think you're actually on. I think you're on the week after next, actually, from what I remember.
Okay.
From my scheduling.
But yeah, we're still aiming for June, and it's only the start of June, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be there. But yeah.
And I should say that it's not just Toppy I've been recording with listeners. Andrew and I. Well, yes, was it Andrew and I? Was Ick there as well? We went in space. That'll be coming up.
Ick was there because I got in trouble for spilling.
Yeah, and Martin and I have completed the 1950s, and we've even worked out what happens after that, how we continue talking about music. So we've got quite a few of those episodes lined up. And Warren and I, Warren got to meet all of the regulars.
That was an exhaustive day.
Yes.
I met everyone. A lot of cake was consumed.
Yes, it was. Every time we got somewhere, they were like, "Oh, would you like some food?" And we've just had round at Martina's.
Just had a nibble.
Yeah. So
I have visions of it being like that Usual Suspects poster, with you all in a line. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so there's lots of appearances by all of us on each other's shows and coming up, listeners. So anyway, we'll say goodbye for now, but I'll say we'll be back a little bit, but just very briefly after the theme music. But thank you, all of you, for joining me for this Chatterbox. And I don't know where Yeti, Uncle John and Cromitty have got to. Maybe they'll show up before the end of the right. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. This is me, Cromitty. I very much apologize. Yeti Uncle John went to a street party, and I managed to keep him off the booze, but I forgot that it's mineral water that is what does for him. And I'm afraid he is pretty much incoherent, but I can't really report much from the Jubilee party because I was so busy worrying about Yeti Uncle John. He nearly fell down a grate, like in the street, like a hole a manhole. He nearly fell down, and he was very embarrassing. He was doing a lucky dip, but he dipped too low and fell in, and then fell down into the manhole. But he sort of bounced back up. But anyway,
Cromitty.
Oh, Warren, how are you?
Just to let you know, your zip's undone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh,
No, not that one. The other one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Warren. Oh dear. Anyway, I'll let you talk about your American and English words now. Oh dear. I can't. This zip is broken. So what American and English words do we have? We've got thongs and flip flops.
Oh,
We call them flip flops. You call them
a thong for Europe.
Thongs for yeah. We call them flip flops. You call them thongs. Actually,
that could be a big mistake if you use that term over here. Yeah.
Now wait a minute, because over here you can wear thongs, but it's something very different. It's like a really, really skimpy, super skimpy bathing suit.
I think that's what we call.
Do you have mankinis in America?
No, I don't think they're. I mean, maybe. Yes, we do, but I don't think I've ever heard them referred to as mankinis. But is that a real thing?
Yeah. Well, budgie smugglers or mankinis.
Banana boats.
Are we back to the banana splits again? Depends how you wear them.
Well, if you've got vacation and holiday, is it true, Toppy, that because we call 2 weeks, well, we tend to call 2 weeks a fortnight, but you don't. Do you not use the word fortnight in America?
Never. In fact, I've always wanted to know how long a fortnight is. So it's a 2 week period? No. I didn't know.
Of course, we've got zip code and postcode. We call them postcodes, but you call them zip codes.
Yeah. By the way, your addresses over there are needlessly complicated.
But American addresses seem quite confusing to us as well.
I'm sure.
Have you been trying to write to Aspie de la Zouche or somewhere?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, some of the American novels I'm reading at the moment, I constantly surprised. I know how many cities over there or towns are named after places over here, but some of the places that, for example, are like really obscure places over here, or really kind of places you can't imagine anyone wanting to name a town after, and like really horrible little pokey places. And some
Warren, you're from the West Country, and there's some bloody weird names in Somerset, aren't there?
Well, the first famous name of the Dorset place beginning with S.
Yeah, go on, say it.
Shitterton. It was the most stolen town's sign in the whole of the country, and it used to say "Welcome to Shitterton," and people used to spray paint underneath the name like that. You're welcome to it. But yeah, we have Sutton Gurney was a weird name. Then there are the Currys, Curry Rival, Curry Mallet.
Curry Mallet.
Yeah.
I like
Hatch Beecham, which was a powder for a cold.
I like the Wallops, a middle Wallop, which is not too far from Salisbury and things like that.
An upper Wallop, which is like a move in boxing, isn't it?
And a nether Wallop, which is just an unpleasant place.
When we used to go to Longleat, we used to pass by a sign that said Hanging Langford, 2 miles, which
does that mean that somewhere in Montana there's a new hanging wall? New Grimsby.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear, what's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
Toppy has said that some of our addresses seem confusing, but the thing that I want to change most about America is the date system.
Oh,
I can't. I hate that it's like November the 14th and then the year. Because to me it makes sense to have the smallest thing and then the next biggest thing. So the day, the month, the year. That's why it makes sense to say it's the 4th of June.
You see, I quite like the American way of doing that.
Yeah, Paul.
Isn't it to do with it just being less words? The second of, so it becomes November 2nd. It's fewer words.
Yeah, we do.
Because it's like you don't sort of say 1927. You lose the and, don't you? So it's 1927.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Yeti Uncle John. I just wanted to say hello before you go. I heard that Cromitty had a problem with his zip, so I've deliberately removed all of my clothes.
Oh, good Lord. I wondered what that was.
Oh, I thought I heard rasping flesh.
None of my zips are done. Oh.
The strange thing is you can't really tell, can you?
Have you had a good show?
Somebody cover him up with a flag.
What?
Dirty great flag hanging out.
Have you had a good show?
Well, that's quite the flagpole.
Well, you're certainly showing.
I've got some.
Are you coming into port?
I've got some.
Not if he turns round.
Sparkling water for you all. It's so addictive.
Oh, it stinks of Perrier in here.
Oh, dear. Good luck. I'm just going to have a little lie down.
I think that might be best, Yeti Uncle John.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, everybody. I do apologize. I think perhaps we should wind up the show. I think that's not a bad idea, Cromitty. I can't believe you let him wander on in front of the microphones. I'm very sorry, Paul. I promise. He's very very drunk. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a lovely rest of the Jubilee. Not doing anything Jubilee related. Oh dear. Yeti Uncle John, put it away.
Oh, I think that was a wonderful episode, don't you, Toppy? I sure do. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's quite enough.
Enough of that. Filth. Absolute filth.
Has to be a 15.
And I switched on the program as the most filthiest.
It was the dirtiest thing I'd ever imagined.
Actually, I forgot in the 1970. One of the facts I was going to read was apparently that a naughty, very very naughty word was said for the first time live on TV.
Oh, was this on the Grundy thing?
And it was the Frost. Oh, the Frost show.
Gee whiz, and the way Paul Chandler, the Shy Yeti, travels around gives me a rash. 542. 542. 542.
Oh my God, there's nothing I like better is when another new episode of the Shy Life podcast comes out.
542. 542. I don't know. It's like he puts out 20,000 episodes a month.
I think we've just got an X certificate.